No way this just happened. David Peterson just threw a complete game shutout, and he smiled. A guy that barely shows any emotion whatsoever showed some emotion. He smiled after getting a complete game shutout. Great game for David Peterson, and a great day for the New York Mets, as they are now 20 games above 500 at 44-24. They're on a 5-game win streak, and they have the best record in Major League Baseball, after Peterson is the first Met left-handed pitcher to throw a complete game shutout since Steven Matz back in 2019. Yeah, that's a name from the past, a blast from the past, if you will. We'll go over the game, we'll go over Peterson's incredible performance, and we'll do a dive on who David Peterson really is in terms of a pitcher, only on Mets Digest. I'm your host today, Mike Duda, and as always, I like to start off with some statistics. And today's stat is that 73.6% of you that watch these videos are not subscribed. So please do me a favor, do us a favor here on Mets Digest, and hit that free subscribe button. That way we can bring content to you about the amazing. So, without further ado, let's talk David Peterson and let's talk New York Mets. Look, he smiled again in the postseason. This was a wonderful game. I was there, as you could probably tell, with my jersey and hat. I was in the Coca-Cola corner. Wonderful crowd. I don't have the numbers on me, but I'd estimate 31, maybe 32,000 in attendance on a Wednesday night before the summer really kicks off. School isn't even out in terms of high school, and the Mets fans were there. 31, maybe 32,000 on a school night. Great job by the Met fans. They have really been showing up so far this year. Go check out one of my previous videos if you haven't already in terms of the fans and just how well the Mets have been drawing. That was when the ESPN guys on Monday Night Baseball made that absurd comment that this was a Dodgers game. Ridiculous. Anyway, let's talk positive because it is a great day in Mets land. David Peterson is now the only Mets starter to reach the 8th inning, and he's done it twice this year. In fact, he's done it twice in the past 4 starts. The last time he did it was back on May 24th against the Dodgers. That was when the Mets were home, and now he does it again tonight, June 11th, against the Washington Nationals. And the question is, what worked for Peterson? Well, he mixed up his pitches. That was great, but I like to focus on how he got his outs. David Peterson is a ground ball pitcher. He got 13 of his outs via ground outs, 11 ground outs, and he got 2 outs from a ground into a double play. So that's 13. Add that with 6 strikeouts. That is 19 batters that did not hit the ball in the air. Only 8 fly balls. And especially tonight when the ball was carrying out, that works really well for a pitcher because you don't give up the home run ball. Now, speaking of the home run ball, the Mets had it. The Mets really scored from the home run today. Pete Alonso had an RBI double in the first, but other than that, it was all homers. A Juan Soto 2-run shot in the third, and 2 home runs on back-to-back ABs from Brandon Nimmo. Great job. The offense showed in a game for Peterson. They really haven't this year. He hasn't gotten great run support, so I'm glad that he got the run support that he deserves. Great game from Peterson, and we'll do a little bit of a dive in just a little bit because he has been so good, and for some reason, I haven't done a video on him. I have no idea why. But, of course, Peterson with the complete game shutout lowers his ERA on the season. And speaking of ERA, get this. According to Anthony Tacoma of MLB.com, at the moment, the National League ERA leader is Kodai Senga, whose signature ghost fork has given him plenty of notoriety. Second is Paul Skeens, a bona fide superstar who needs no further introduction. Third is Yoshinobu Yamamoto, a $325 million pitcher. Fourth is Robbie Ray, a former Cy Young Award winner. Fifth is David Peterson, who features none of the flash, none of the hype, but all of the results. And we'll go into his career stats here. Look at these. Really, really great couple of years in 2024 and 2025. Now, these stats are actually not updated because the game finished about an hour and a half ago, and I came home and went to go record this video now. So these stats are actually not updated, but I do have the updated stats, which I'll read out to you now. This year in 2025, David Peterson is now 5-2 with a 2.49 ERA, 13 games started. 79.2 innings pitched, 79 2/3. That is a leading stat on the New York Mets. Peterson has thrown the most innings out of any Met, and he averages over 6 innings pitched per start, which in modern day baseball is really, really solid. His whip is 1.24, which is a little high, but given who David Peterson is and the walk problems that we always see, this isn't the worst whip that I've ever seen from him. And as you can see, it's one of the better whips in his career. 2.84 walks to strikeout rate, 282 walks per nine, 8.02 strikeouts per nine, and a 235 opposing batting average. As we mentioned with what worked for him tonight, Peterson is a ground ball pitcher. He doesn't overpower you. He won't get a lot of strikeouts. He sometimes struggles with the walks, but when he gets his ground balls, he is phenomenal, as we saw tonight. He is even better at Citi Field, and he displayed it tonight in this shutout. A 2.47 ERA and a 4-0 pitching record for Peterson at Citi Field this year. And the Mets have had 8 games at home in which Peterson has started. One other record, 8-0. A perfect 8-0. The Mets are yet to lose a baseball game at Citi Field with David Peterson on the mound. He has been awesome, and as I alluded to earlier, 24 and 25 have been his years. This is a picture of him that I got from an article when he had hip surgery after the 2023 season around November. He came back with a vengeance. Granted, he didn't pitch fully in 2024. He only made 21 starts, didn't pitch a full season because that hip surgery lasted a little bit into the season. But try a 10-3 record, 2.90 ERA in 121 innings pitched. The last 2 seasons combined with those 2025 stats that I told you earlier, a 2.74 ERA. Compare that to his career ERA of 3.91 and a career walk to 9 rate of 3.8. The walks are down. The ERA is down. We have found the David Peterson that we have always wanted since he was a first-round selection back in 2017. And the question is, how? How are we getting such good production from David Peterson? Well, look at this. This is his baseball savant page. And the stats that I want to point out to you are the walks, first of all. The walks being now, this year, he is in the 49th percentile. That's incredible. That's really good for David Peterson, who's a guy that would typically be in the 20th percentile, maybe the 30th if he was lucky. And he's basically now in the 50th percentile in walks, meaning he is walking less batters. That works for him because now he can go deeper into games and he can show his stuff. He's a good pitcher. He's really, really talented. And since he's not walking batters, he is finally back and he is showing how good of a pitcher he is because he's going deeper into games. Again, he's not a guy that will overpower you. He's only in the 13th percentile in fastball velocity, below 92 miles an hour on average per fastball pitch. That's not hard compared to starting pitching nowadays. You got Paul Skeens, who's a starting pitcher, throwing 100 miles an hour a pitch on his four-seam fastball. And Peterson is throwing less than 92, but he is efficient. He works from the left side. He hits his spots, which he's doing now because the walks are down. And he has great off speed. Now, the other stats, again, I'm going to go back to the ground balls. His ground ball rate this year, 57.4%. That is in the 94th percentile in Major League Baseball. That is really, really good. He's doing what he needs to do. That means 57.4% of the time he's getting a ground out. So let's say he faces 1,000 batters. 574 of them are going to ground out. That means the rest of those batters are either going to walk, get hit by a pitch, base hit, double, triple, homer, any other potential way of either recording an out or getting on base is avoided and is a part of that 43-ish percent. That means 57% of the time he's getting a ground ball. Awesome. Great job from David Peterson. And the last thing that I want to go over is his extension. He's in the 95th percentile in extension, which is great. He is a left-hander standing at 6'6", 240 pounds. If this guy isn't extending forward to maximize the 60 feet and 6 inches from home plate to the pitcher's mound, if he wasn't doing that, I'd be concerned. But he is. He's extending when he pitches. His body is moving forward closer to the plate. That allows him to be more accurate. That gets more velocity on his pitches, more break on his off speed, and overall has worked really, really well. And guess what? He's only 29 years old. You can see it there. A former first-round selection. I'm so happy that Peterson has panned out, and I am so happy that he did so well tonight. He absolutely deserves it. And honestly, he's my favorite Met, especially after what just happened tonight. David Peterson's my guy. He's my personal favorite Met, but that's what happened. The Mets' bats were great. Ton of home runs. We saw the apple rise a bunch tonight. Twice from Brandon Nimmo, once from Juan Soto. Pete Alonso continues to tear it up as well. League leading 63 RBIs now, above Aaron Judge by a couple of RBIs, which is awesome. Alonso is fantastic. Go ahead, go vote for them at the All-Star game. Vote for Alonso. Get Diaz in there. Get David Peterson in there. Kodai Senga, Francisco Lindor. It's going to be awesome. This Mets team is legit. They are the best team in Major League Baseball right now by record at 44-24. Carlos Mendoza is the man, and it's just great vibes tonight. I'm so happy I was at that game. David Peterson, a complete game shutout, 6 hits, 6 Ks. That's all the time, unfortunately, that I have for you today. Go ahead, let me know what you think about David Peterson. He is the man. And thank you so much for watching, as always. And let's go, Mets.